The objective of the labor inspection is to further strengthen the implementation of the visitorial and enforcement powers under the Labor Code as renumbered towards securing a higher level of compliance with labor laws and standards and ensuring continuity and sustainability of compliance at workplaces. For this purpose, the Department of Labor and Employment delegates this function to the regional offices with the issuance of a list of labor inspectors who are given the authority of conduct inspection, which covers all private establishments, including their branches and workplaces in the regions.
The regional offices enforce labor laws and social legislation through the conduct of labor inspection, occupational safety and health investigation, and technical and advisory visit. Special inspections may be conducted as may be deemed necessary.
With the provision for mobile devices and gadgets, the DOLE developed an inspection management information system. An important feature of the system is data capture and transmittal from the field in real time, as an electronic checklist is filled up through the use of mobile devices and gadgets. Data are instantly available for viewing and processing to generate reports, statistics, and summons, including real-time monitoring of decent work indicators based on the country's decent work profile. The TAV, or Technical and Advisory Visit, aims to provide assistance to the micro-establishments, or establishments that have 1 to 9 employees, to be sustainable, productive, and competitive. It also aims to transition our micro-establishments to the formal economy that is profitable, while also complying with our labor laws and occupational safety and health standards. There are different ways or modalities to avail TAV. First is the online method. Establishments can enroll in the self-paced technical and advisory modules through our learning management system. For establishments that opted to go with online, they must accomplish the modules within 1 month from the time they registered. Second is on-site. The DOLE regional, field, and provincial offices conduct on-site or face-to-face orientation for the technical and advisory services, wherein micro-establishments are invited to attend. Third is hybrid setup. Establishments can enroll in on-site sessions and attend virtual meetings or webinars using various online platforms like MS Teams, Viber, Skype, Zoom, or Google Meet. The establishment report system was created to streamline the documents and reports required from establishments in the private sector. Several administrative requirements will be submitted through this site as a central platform. Through this system, employers no longer need to physically submit establishment reports to DOLE, since reportorial requirements can be completed remotely through the ERS.
There are various types of report that can be submitted through the establishment report system. These are telecommuting report, job displacement report, flexible work arrangement, 13th month pay compliance report, and employer's work accident or illness report.
The establishment report system ensured the safety of employees of Dole and its clients by minimizing the risk of contracting the COVID-19, since the need for physical contact has been removed in this process. The objective of the labor inspection is to further strengthen the implementation of the visitorial and enforcement powers under the Labor Code as renumbered, towards securing a higher level of compliance with labor laws and standards and ensuring continuity and sustainability of compliance at workplaces. For this purpose, the Department of Labor and Employment delegates this function to the regional offices with the issuance of a list of labor inspectors who are given the authority of conduct inspection, which covers all private establishments, including their branches and workplaces in the regions.
The regional offices enforce labor laws and social legislation through the conduct of labor inspection, occupational safety and health investigation, and technical and advisory visit. Special inspections may be conducted as may be deemed necessary.
With the provision for mobile devices and gadgets, the DOLE developed an inspection management information system. An important feature of the system is data capture and transmittal from the field in real time, as an electronic checklist is filled up through the use of mobile devices and gadgets. Data are instantly available for viewing and processing to generate reports, statistics, and summons, including real-time monitoring of decent work indicators based on the country's decent work profile. The TAV, or Technical and Advisory Visit, aims to provide assistance to the micro-establishments, or establishments that have 1 to 9 employees, to be sustainable, productive, and competitive. It also aims to transition our micro-establishments to the formal economy that is profitable, while also complying with our labor laws and occupational safety and health standards. There are different ways or modalities to avail TAV. First is the online method. Establishments can enroll in the self-paced technical and advisory modules through our learning management system. For establishments that opted to go with online, they must accomplish the modules within 1 month from the time they registered. Second is on-site. The DOLE regional, field, and provincial offices conduct on-site or face-to-face orientation for the technical and advisory services, wherein micro-establishments are invited to attend. Third is hybrid setup. Establishments can enroll in on-site sessions and attend virtual meetings or webinars using various online platforms like MS Teams, Viber, Skype, Zoom, or Google Meet. The establishment report system was created to streamline the documents and reports required from establishments in the private sector. Several administrative requirements will be submitted through this site as a central platform. Through this system, employers no longer need to physically submit establishment reports to DOLE, since reportorial requirements can be completed remotely through the ERS.
There are various types of report that can be submitted through the establishment report system. These are telecommuting report, job displacement report, flexible work arrangement, 13th month pay compliance report, and employer's work accident or illness report.
The establishment report system ensured the safety of employees of DOLE and its clients by minimizing the risk of contracting the COVID-19, since the need for physical contact has been removed in this process. The objective of the labor inspection is to further strengthen the implementation of the visitorial and enforcement powers under the Labor Code as renumbered, towards securing a higher level of compliance with labor laws and standards and ensuring continuity and sustainability of compliance at workplaces. For this purpose, the Department of Labor and Employment delegates this function to the regional offices with the issuance of a list of labor inspectors who are given the authority of conduct inspection, which covers all private establishments, including their branches and workplaces in the regions.
The regional offices enforce labor laws and social legislation through the conduct of labor inspection, occupational safety and health investigation, and technical and advisory visit. Special inspections may be conducted as may be deemed necessary.
With the provision for mobile devices and gadgets, the DOLE developed an inspection management information system. An important feature of the system is data capture and transmittal from the field in real time, as an electronic checklist is filled up through the use of mobile devices and gadgets. Data are instantly available for viewing and processing to generate reports, statistics, and summons, including real-time monitoring of decent work indicators based on the country's decent work profile. The TAV, or Technical and Advisory Visit, aims to provide assistance to the micro-establishments, or establishments that have 1 to 9 employees, to be sustainable, productive, and competitive. It also aims to transition our micro-establishments to the formal economy that is profitable, while also complying with our labor laws and occupational safety and health standards. There are different ways or modalities to avail TAV. First is the online method. Establishments can enroll in the self-paced technical and advisory modules through our learning management system. For establishments that opted to go with online, they must accomplish the modules within 1 month from the time they registered. Second is on-site. The DOLE regional, field, and provincial offices conduct on-site or face-to-face orientation for the technical and advisory services, wherein micro-establishments are invited to attend. Third is hybrid setup. Establishments can enroll in on-site sessions and attend virtual meetings or webinars using various online platforms like MS Teams, Viber, Skype, Zoom, or Google Meet. The establishment report system was created to streamline the documents and reports required from establishments in the private sector. Several administrative requirements will be submitted through this site as a central platform. Through this system, employers no longer need to physically submit establishment reports to DOLE since reportorial requirements can be completed remotely through the ERS.
There are various types of report that can be submitted through the establishment report system. These are telecommuting report, job displacement report, flexible work arrangement, 13th month pay compliance report, and employer's work accident or illness report.
The establishment report system ensured the safety of employees of DOLE and its clients by minimizing the risk of contracting the COVID-19 since the need for physical contact has been removed in this process.
Afternoon everyone at magandang hapon po sa lahat. So welcome po sa Season 2, Episode 8 of Webinar Wednesdays of the Department of Labor and Employment, hosted by the Bureau of Working Conditions. So I'm John Cesar Petate and I will be your moderator for today's webinar. So before we begin our webinar, let us start with a prayer.
Let us bow our head and put ourselves in the holiness of God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Dear Almighty and ever-loving God, we glorify and thank your name. You have showered us with so much blessings, and your presence continuously remind us of your faithfulness and guidance. May we humbly ask you to shower our speaker today of your greatest inspiration, so that he may share the most of his knowledge, his field of expertise, and to his respective topics. May we also absorb the invaluable knowledge, experiences, and put it into practice that we may learn today. Your infinite blessing would mean the success of this webinar. May we be a living witnesses of your genuine love through the enactment of the knowledge acquired through this activity. We ask this in the name of your Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior. Amen.
Amen. So magandang hapon po ulit and hello sa ating Facebook Live participants ngayon. So para sa ating mga manonood, pa-heart react naman po dyan and please share this live stream po to your Facebook account and use hashtag Webinar Wednesdays. You may also share this to your colleagues, friends, families para mas marami pa po tayo na magkaroon ng bagong kaalaman. So for questions and inquiries po, kindly use the comment section below and this will be addressed by the resource speaker after the lecture. So before we proceed sa ating topic, alamin po muna natin ang functions, services, at programs ng Bureau of Working Conditions. So here's a video presentation we prepared for you. So panoorin po natin.
The Bureau of Working Conditions is mandated to focus on performing policy and program development and performing advisory functions for the department in the administration and enforcement of laws relating to labor standards. Specifically, the BWC develops and prescribes labor standards and policies, programs, and devices relative to its administration and enforcement. It also exercises technical and functional supervision over the DOLE regional offices as they conduct administration and enforcement activities in the respective regions. The Bureau also conducts research in aid of safety standards, policy programs, measures and device development on labor standards. And lastly, the Bureau provides knowledge and information services on labor standards data, programs, and enforcement activities. There are 5 flagship programs of the Bureau, namely labor inspection, technical and advisory visit, policy and program development, monitoring of programs such as construction safety and health program, technical safety inspection. And the last flagship program is the case management. The labor inspection program ensures that private sector establishments employing workers comply with the general labor standards, occupational safety and health standards, and other social legislations intended to safeguard the rights of workers to just and humane conditions at work. This is in line with the visitorial and enforcement power of the Secretary of Labor and Employment under Articles 128 and 129 of the Labor Code of the Philippines, and it is the flagship program of the BWC for ensuring the continuity and sustainability of compliance in all workplaces. Small, medium, and large establishments under the sector's hazardous work, employing children, construction projects, Philippine registered ships in domestic shipping, fishing vessels, contracting or subcontracting arrangements, subject of SENA referral, anonymous complaint, and request for inspection, and other establishments as may be determined by the Secretary of Labor and Employment are all covered in the labor inspection program. The Technical and Advisory Visit, or the TAV program, aims to build the capacity of community-based micro-establishments towards sustainable compliance with labor standards. It seeks to facilitate easier access to government programs and services instrumental to addressing their compliance gaps, as well as to provide livelihood assistance and productivity training to further capacitate micro-establishments in improving their business operations. There are various training modules offered in TAV, namely General Labor Standards, Occupational Safety and Health Standards, Child and Family Welfare, Productivity Toolbox, and Visit Checklist and Action Plan. The Technical Safety Inspection is the inspection for the purpose of safety determination of boilers, pressure vessels, internal combustion engines, electrical installations, elevators, hoisting equipments, and other mechanical equipments. The Bureau is also responsible for the development of policies and programs. The Bureau takes the lead in the formulation and assurance of timely and relevant policies, guidelines, and advisories relating to general labor standards, occupational safety and health standards, and other social legislations that promote the rights at work, improve working conditions, and guide employers and workers in the private sector. There are other various programs that are handled by the Bureau of Working Conditions, Construction Safety and Health Program, Review and Evaluation of Technical Plans, Processing of Certificate of Appearance of PMEs and PEEs, Work Alert Reporting, Processing of Certificate of No Pending Case, Disposition of Labor Standard Appealed Cases, General Labor Standards and Occupational Safety and Health Queries and Requests for Inspection-related data, Medical Services or Assistance to DOLE personnel. And the BWC is also a member of various committees like NCACL, IACAT, LI Capacity Building Committee, Safety and Health Committee, Mental Health Program, and many more. The Bureau envisions well-guided employers and workers committed to a safe, healthful, and productive work environment, adaptive to industry trends and developments, and equitably enjoying the gains of joint endeavors.
Alright. Sana po ay nadagdagan ng ating kaalaman sa mga programa at serbisyo ng BWC o ng Bureau of Working Conditions. So we will now proceed to the discussion of our today's topic, tuberculosis prevention and control in the workplace. So our speaker is a graduate of Bachelor of Science in Biology and took Doctor of Medicine degree at the Far Eastern University. Given her dedication, she is now a licensed physician. So everyone, please welcome our Medical Officer 3, Dr. Sheila Lori, A14 Faborada. Welcome, Doc.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Dr. Sheila Lori 14 Faborada. And I will sharing my screen ngayon na po. Okay. Ang topic ko po today is tuberculosis prevention and control in the workplace. So every March 24 po, tayo ay nagse-celebrate ng World Tuberculosis Day na nagdiriwang tayo dahil ito yung araw na na-discover ni Dr. Robert Koch ang bacteria na nagdudulot ng TB. Dito rin ay sineselebrate natin para rin maging aware ang lahat ng tao, hindi lang dito sa Pilipinas, kundi sa buong mundo, ang laban natin para matapos po ang TB epidemic at ang mga hakbang para ma-eradicate itong nasabing sakit. Ang topic po natin ngayon ay ang Labor Advisory Number 21 Series of 2023 o ang Supplemental Guidelines on the Implementation of Safety and Health Measures for the Prevention and Control of Tuberculosis in the Workplace. So, at the end of the session, tayo ay mapapa-familiarize with the salient points ng latest DOLE advisory regarding sa tuberculosis. Tayo din ay sana makapag-apply na itong mga principles ng ating mga mandatory OH program sa ating mga respective workplaces. And also, to advocate for policy and practice improvements to enhance the implementation of these occupational health programs. Ano nga ba ang TB? Ang TB ay isang infectious airborne disease caused primarily by a bacterium which is called the Mycobacterium tuberculosis. Although ito ay infectious, ito naman po ay preventable and curable. Ito po ay i-infect ng 1/4 ng ating population, hindi lang po sa Pilipinas, kundi po sa buong mundo. Papaano po ba natatransmit po ang TB? Ito po ay sa tinatawag na droplet nuclei na lumalabas kapag tayo ay inuubo, sumisinga o dumudura. Ayon po sa NTP or the National Tuberculosis Control Program, sa Pilipinas po, meron po tayong 367,000 notified DSTB and DRTB cases. At meron naman po tayong 3,632 TB treatment facilities and 3,695 na TB laboratories sa ating bansa. Ayon naman po sa WHO, meron pong total na 1.3 million na tao ang namatay noong 2022 dahil po sa TB. Ito rin po ang second leading infectious killer after ng COVID-19. Ina-estima rin po ng WHO na meron pong 10.6 million na tao ang nagkaroon ng TB noong 2022. 5.8 million po dito ay lalaki, 3.5 po dito ay babae at 1.3 million naman ay mga bata. Multi-drug resistant TB po remains a public health crisis and a health security threat. Kasi nga po, meron lang pong 2 tao sa bawat 5 tao ang nagkakaroon ng access sa TB treatment ng mga drug resistant TB na pasyente noong 2022. Paano nga ba nabubuo ang mga labor advisory? Siyempre, meron tayong mga batas na sinusundan po para tayo makapaglabas ng mga labor advisories. Nakapaglabas po ang DOLE ng labor advisories dahil dito sa mga batas na to na tungkol din sa TB. Ito po ay ang mga batas na nagsisilbing pundasyon para mabuo ang Labor Advisory Number 21, Series of 2023. Ito po ay ang Executive Order 187 Series of 2003 or ang Comprehensive and Unified Policy for the Tuberculosis Control in the Philippines, ang DOLE Department Order 73-05 o ang Guidelines for the Implementation of Policy and Program on Tuberculosis Prevention and Control in the Workplace, at ang Republic Act 10767 o ang Comprehensive Tuberculosis Elimination Plan Act of 2016. Ang Executive Order number 187 Series of 2003. Ang DOH po, nag-forge siya ng partnership with Philippine Coalition Against Tuberculosis o ang PhilCat para mag-develop tayo ng comprehensive and unified policy for TB control in the Philippines in collaboration po with other government agencies at saka ng private sectors para po ma-unify natin ang TB control efforts natin dito sa Pilipinas. Ito po yung ang mangyayari po dito is yung DOT strategy yung magiging basis po ng implementasyon ng TB control among dun sa concerned stakeholders natin. Ang DOLE naman po, nagpalabas naman po ng Department Order number 73 nung 2005 na poprotekta po sa mga karapatan ng mga manggagawa sa private sector. Minamandato po ng Department Order na ito na lahat ng private establishments, workplace, worksites na gumawa at mag-implement ng TB prevention and control policy and program or yung tinatawag na TB policy. Bale yun sa TB policy, kailangan meron dun po prevention, treatment, rehabilitation, restoration to work, and social policies din po. Meron din po dapat training for TB awareness, for safety and health committee members or the company health personnel. Bale, yung programs ng TB advocacy, education, dapat ma-carry out din sa workplace. And also, nagpa-prohibit ng discrimination against sa workers na mayroong TB o nagkaroon ng TB. Ito rin ay nagsasabi na magkakaroon tayo ng access sa TB services na meron sa ating bansa. And nire-require din ng DOLE ang private companies natin na i-report yung mga na-diagnose na TB cases gamit po yung annual medical report form. Also, yung medical examination results, hindi po siya dapat gamitin laban po sa empleyado na gustong pumasok sa trabaho o patanggal po ang empleyado sa posisyon niya dahil nga lang po nagkaroon siya o meron siyang TB. Ang last naman po ay ang Republic Act number 10767 o ang Comprehensive Tuberculosis Elimination Plan Act. Ito po, sinasabi po na ang gobyerno po ay nagmamandato na mag-adapt ng integrated and comprehensive approach to health development para masuportahan and ma-expand yung efforts to eliminate the disease po as a public health problem. And also, para mag-adapt ng sectoral approach para po magresponde dun sa nasabing sakit. Dito rin po, sinasabi na ang PhilHealth ay magbibigay po ng benefit package for TB. Yun po yung outpatient DOTS package natin at saka yung pagpapadami po ng mga accredited DOTS facilities para mas accessible po sa ating mga mamamayan yung pagpapagamot sa TB. Also, itong ibang mga laws and issuances natin, ang Republic Act number 1105 o ang Oslo Department Order number 108, yung IRR ng Oslo, ang Universal Healthcare Act and Labor Code of the Philippines, pati na rin ang PhilHealth Circular, sila po tumulong din po sila para maging mailagay din po sa guidelines ng Labor Advisory number 21. Kung ano po ang mga updates ngayon. Ayun po, ito pong mga legal basis natin, ito ay naglalayon na magbigay ng additional na guidance, hindi lang sa employer, pati na rin po sa ating mga manggagawa, na tayo ay may access pala sa healthcare service at pasilidad ng Pilipinas. may mga batas pala na pwede nating ma-access kahit po tayo ay nagtatrabaho. So ano ba ang coverage nitong advisory nito? Siyempre, lahat ng mga empleyado at saka employers ng private sectors ay covered nitong DOLE advisory na ito. Para naman sa mga empleyado na nalaman na may TB, lalo na yung mga employers, in-encourage sila ni DOLE na magbigay ng paid leave benefits on top ng existing leave benefits under the company policy, CBA, labor code and special laws. Tapos mag-provide din ng work accommodation and flexible work arrangements, rescheduling of work hours, tapos included na rin doon yung telecommuting, lalo na po dun sa 14-day infectious phase. Ito po, encouraged lang naman kasi depende pa rin po ito sa company policies ng kumpanya at yung nature ng trabaho ng empleyado na tinamaan po ng nasabing sakit. In compliance with the Republic Act number 10173 or the Data Privacy Act of 2012, ina-ensure po nito na yung confidentiality ng health status ng mga nagkaroon po ng TB ay malilimitahan lang po dun sa mga authorized personnels lang po para po hindi naman po lumabas yung mga data nila. And also, lahat po ng diagnosed na cases dun sa certain workplace ay kailangan pong ma-report ng mga employers sa DOLE Regional, Provincial Field Office para po na ilalagay po dun sa annual medical report form. Ang mga ilalagay po dun yung number ng mga taong nagkaroon ng nag-chest x-ray, tapos dun sa EPE nila, and yung number po ng diagnosed TB cases nila. Ito rin po, bale, magiging part po siya ng TB registry sa DOH. So, ang salient features po ng ating Labor Advisory 21 Series 2023, unang-una is access to healthcare services. Second is the list of accredited PhilHealth Consulta package providers, also referrals po to DOH retained hospitals or rural health units for consultation, screening, diagnosis, medication, treatment, and also psychosocial support. And also to provide the latest TB DOTS facilities, locations all throughout sa country. Yan, ito po yung access to healthcare. Ito po yung mga apps na pwede nating ma-download through iOS, through Android, or dito lang sa website. Ma-access natin yan. Ito po yung website, yung ntp.doh.gov.ph. Ito po yung NTB App Suite. Next naman po is yung list of accredited PhilHealth Consulta package providers. Ito po yung tinatawag na PhilHealth TB package. Ito po yung package na pwede nating i-avail para dun sa mga nakitaan ng simptomas ng TB based po sa history and PE, or dun po mismo sa x-ray na nakita during the medical examination. Kasama rin po dito yung mga new cases, retreatment, relapse, treatment after failure, treatment after loss to follow-up, previous treatment outcome unknown, and transfer input. The next one po is referral to DOH retained hospitals or rural health units for consultation, screening, diagnosis, medication, treatment, and psychosocial support. Bale, yung sa mga empleyado po na nagkaroon ng TB, maaari po ang HR nila or yung employers nila ang makipag-coordinate dito po sa mga nasabing DOH retained hospitals or units po, para po sila matulungan na sa pagpapagamot, sa pag-screen. Ito po lahat ay libre po. And lastly po is to provide yung latest TB DOTS facilities location sa ating bansa. Ayan po, dun din po sa website na yun makikita na kung saan po may malapit na TB dots, na health center o kaya ospital. Ito po, ita-type niyo lang dito yung name ng facility kung alam po ninyo, kunwari yung name ng ospital o kaya yung address ninyo. Dito po lalabas na po kung kailangan po ninyong magpunta na. And nung last March 16 po, trinay po natin na i-beat yung record ng India sa Guinness World Record for the largest human lung formation. And buti naman po ay nagawa naman po natin sila with over 5,596 participants from the NGOs, LGU. The Philippines triumphs over India's previous record of 5,003, raising awareness on combating TB stigma. Yun lamang po. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you so much po, Dr. Sheila, for the informative discussion tungkol sa tuberculosis prevention and control in the workplace. So we are now going to start answering the questions submitted during today's presentation, but you can still submit your questions through the comments section. Okay. So, Dr. Sheila, for your first question po, how can we prevent the spread of tuberculosis in the workplace?
Yung employees po na merong at least 2 weeks history of cough, pwede na po siyang i-refer sa sa mga DOTS facilities po natin na malapit dun sa workplace natin or na malapit dun sa bahay ng empleyado. Tapos yung mga asymptomatic na empleyado na may TB na nakikita natin through the annual medical exam, kailangan din siyang ma-refer for further testing and management po ng kanyang TB. Tapos po, syempre, yung mga provisions po natin, yung mga adequate ventilation, yung avoidance of overcrowding, tsaka yung cleanliness sa ating mga workplaces. Also, it could help po sa pag-prevent ng pag-spread ng TB sa ating mga pinagtatrabahuan.
Okay, thank you so much po, Dr. Sheila. So for the second question po, can we terminate an employee who is diagnosed as having PTB?
Hindi po. Kasi po wala naman pong rason para i-terminate yung empleyado natin na umiinom po talaga ng gamot niya religiously. And also, yun nga po, based po dun sa guidelines ng DOH na 2 weeks na infectious phase, after po nun, pwede na pong bumalik sa work. Pero po dun sa guidelines nila, kaya pong i-extend until 1 month po na yung leave ng patient po, ay ng empleyado.
Okay, so malino po na bawal i-terminate ang isang empleyado na na-diagnose as having PTB. So for the third question po, Dr. Sheila, is TB considered as a work-related illness? Is it compensable?
Generally speaking po kasi, ang PTB po ay isang community-acquired disease. Pero po, meron po tayong certain parameters po para malaman kung work-related ba at compensable ba ang TB cases natin. Katulad na lang kung yung ano ba yung nature of work ng empleyado, yung working conditions dun sa pinagtatrabahuan, tsaka yung exposure na rin sa TB risk ng empleyado. Ito po, based po sa conditions yun na sinet po ng ECC sa atin. Bale, kung yung mga compensable po, ang mga criteria nila, yung mga nasa high risk po na occupational groups, working conditions, na susceptible po para mahawaan sila ng TB o kaya yung mga sa staff ng mga sa correctionals, sa jail. Ganun kasi 'di ba mga overcrowded po yung mga nakakulong. Tapos yun dun po sa mga workers na nagkokolekta, kumukuha ng mga biological wastes natin. Tsaka doon po sa mga workplaces na talagang overcrowded.
Okay. For the next question po, what if the company has no policy and program on prevention and control of the tuberculosis in the workplace?
Gaya nga po nung nasabi kanina sa lecture na mandated po ni DOLE na magkaroon tayo ng OH programs at ang kasama po dun sa occupational safety and health and other work-related programs po is TB in the workplace policy po. So, kapag ibig sabihin po nun kung walang program ang isang establishment, hindi po siya compliant sa mga mandates ni DOLE. So, pag ganun, monitor naman po yan ng mga inspectors natin. So, kapag nakita pong non-compliant, bibigyan po natin sila ng enough time para po mag-prepare, tas gumawa ng company policy regarding TB.
Okay po. So for the fifth question po, does payment for treatment and rehabilitation should be shouldered by the company?
If may capacity po yung company, pwede naman po. Pero kung wala po, yung employers po, yun nga po, yung coverage nitong labor advisory natin is nagkakaroon po tayo ng kaalaman or guide na meron pala tayong access to treatment and rehabilitation gamit po yung TB dots. Bale, ang mangyayari na lang po is yung occupational health personnel po, sila po ang mag-facilitate ng referral po nung empleyado nila dun sa facilities na malapit sa kanila.
Okay po. So for your next question po ulit, Dr. Sheila, how do we avail of DOTS services?
Ayun po, ito pong DOLE advisory natin na Labor Advisory 21 Series of 2023 na yung mga proseso po kung paano po kung paano po makaka-avail ang ating mga empleyado, pati na rin yung employers ng ating TB package po. Bale, dun po sa nilabas na labor advisory, andun po yung mga facilities, yung mga forms, meron na po doon.
Okay. So for your next question po, maaari pa po ba kaming makabalik sa trabaho? Or maaari po bang makabalik sa trabaho ang empleyado na may TB?
Opo, kasi po yung TB naman po, siya po ay infectious pero preventable and curable. Ibig sabihin po, nagagamot po siya kung tamang gamutan po ang ginawa ng worker na may sakit na TB. Tapos, yung sa leave nga niya na 14 days na after 14 days ng infectious phase, hindi na siya nakakahawa. So kung 14 days na siyang umiinom ng gamot araw-araw, may 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 guidelines yung DOH tungkol doon na either i-extend to 1 month yung leave ng ng empleyado na may TB para mas sure na hindi siya nakakahawa, or magre-repeat po ng smear po, ng AFB smear po.
Okay po. So malinaw na pwede po makabalik ang isang empleyado sa trabaho. So next question, sino po and ang dapat mag-report ng TB cases at the workplace?
Yung dapat po mag-report ng TB cases natin is yung employer. Bale, sasubmit nila yung TB report sa ating mga DOLE regional and field offices through the annual medical report po, para yun na may jurisdiction over sa company na pinapasukan ng empleyado.
Okay. So next question po ulit, Dr. Sheila. Relapse case po ba ng TB is possible po ba?
Yes po. Lalo na po kung yung pasyente is hindi po niya iniinom talaga ng tama yung gamot niya, o yung um, hindi niya rin inaalagaan yung katawan niya kasi bababa yung immune system niya, tapos dun sa workplace nila or dun sa community nila talamak po ang TB, talaga pong may chance na bumalik at bumalik po ang TB.
Okay po. Ano po ang gagawin kung ang isang applicant o aplikante sa trabaho ay TB positive?
Bale, yung applicant po na TB positive, pwedeng i-refer siya agad sa isang TB TOTS facility para mag-start na po nung screening, tsaka kung ma-confirm is ma-treat na po agad, magamot na po siya agad. Tapos sa oras na ma-complete niya yung 2 weeks na intensive na gamutan, pwede na po siyang magpa-clearance dun sa doktor dun sa TB DOTS facility niya para po magkaroon na siya ng clearance. Tapos kung matatanggap siya sa gusto niyang pag-applyan, mayroon na pong clearance, maaari na po siyang makapag-start ng trabaho niya.
Thank you po. If there is an applicant processing her requirements then on her medical result TB positive, since we are a food manufacturing company, can we not deploy her? Then after medication, we can hire her, or may violations po ba?
Yes po. Pwede pong magkaroon ng violation kasi as mentioned earlier, yung patients na may TB po, hindi na po siya infectious after the 2 to 4 weeks ng treatment niya. Tapos with regards to infectivity, wala naman pong violation sa Food Safety Act.
Okay po. So for the next question po, ano po mga conditions para makapasok ang may TB na workers?
Unang-una po is yung treatment, makumpleto po niya yung 2 weeks to 4 weeks na intensive treatment na based sa DOH guidelines. Tapos yun nga po, magpapa-certify po sa DOTS certified na physician na hindi na siya nakakahawa po.
Next question po ulit. In cases like an employee is recommended for a pulmo clearance, where can we refer them that is free of cost?
Dun po tayo makakapag-refer sa mga government facilities, government hospitals na po kung needed po talaga ng pulmo clearance. Bale sa mga government hospitals like yung mga malalaking hospital dito sa atin na government po, hindi po private, para po makalibre po tayo.
Okay po. How about in private po, if na-refer na po sila sa health card pulmo need, pa din po ba sila i-refer sa TB DOTS po?
Yes po, kasi po para makapag-avail po sila nung libreng gamutan natin.
Okay po. Paano nakakahawa ang sakit na TB?
Ayun po, through air droplets po, bale yung kunwari, yung isang tao na may TB, umubo, bumahing, dumura po, tas nandun ka, mababa ang resistensya mo, maaari mo siyang makuha. Tapos tawag dito, mapupunta siya sa lungs natin. Ngayon, kung mababa ang resistensya natin, maaari ka nang magpakita ng simptomas ng TB. Ayun po, ganun po yung mode of transmission ng TB.
Okay po. How about if na-find out na may TB, kailangan din po ba i-x-ray yung mga nakasama po nila sa workplace agad-agad?
Pwede naman po 'no, kasi part po nung active case finding. Pero, examination po yung using the gene expert po can be done po sa DOTS facility na. So, para po hindi na rin gumastos kung hindi po i-aano ng employers yung pagpapa-X-ray, dun na po natin referral na po to the healthcare facilities po.
Okay po. May pananagutan ba si employer kung nahawa ng TB si empleyado sa kapwa ng empleyado?
Ito naman po is tawag dito, compensable po ano. So kung para po hindi po siya mabigyan ng pananagutan, pwede po nating i-assist si empleyado na i-avail po yung benefits niya sa ECC and yung other benefits natin like sa PhilHealth po and referral to the hospitals and TB dots facilities po.
Okay po. Last two questions po tayo, Doktora. So, okay lang po ba na isang policy na lang sa OSH, policy lang, then included na din yung TB policy doon?
Opo. As long as po yung OSH program or policy ninyo consistent po dun sa mga policies na naglalaman ng DOLE issuances, wala naman pong problema doon. Basta po covered lahat ng mga hinahanap ng DOLE sa isang workplace program po.
Okay po. So, for your last question po, Dr. Sheila, pwede daw po ba ang safety officer ang mag-lecture ng TB awareness?
Yes po. Pwede naman po, no? Kaso limited lang sa company policy nila regarding sa TB yung pwedeng ma-lecture ni safety officer po. Tapos, dun sa medical questions, syempre, kailangan ng medical personnel katulad ng doctor or ng company nurse para naman po meron pong medical kumbaga may medical may makasagot po ng mga medically related questions nila.
Okay po. So, Doktora, ito may pahabol po. Huling question po galing sa ating mga manonood. So, kailan po maging legal and dismissal ng employee due to TB?
Yun po yung kung may certification no sa isang competent authority or doctor, public health doctor na within 6 months po hindi pa po gagaling si empleyadong may TB kahit po nagte-take na siya ng TB medications niya po.
Okay po. So, thank you so much po, Dr. Sheila, sa pagsagot ng mga katanungan ng ating mga manonood. So, thank you po sa lahat na nagsubmit ng questions. Kung meron po kaming hindi nasagot ngayon, rest assured po na ang aming social media team ay sasagutin ang inyong mga tanong mamaya. Further announcements po, the BWC or the Bureau of Working Conditions will be conducting the webinar Wednesdays, episode 9 on April 10, 2024. So ang topic natin ay Know OSH, Roles of OSH Personnel and Importance of Facilities. So, and that concludes our webinar for today. I believe that we can say it has been a very productive dahil napakarami nating natutunan sa ating speaker. So if you have further questions, you may send us an email through ask@bwc.dole.gov.ph or you may call the DOLE hotline 1349. Also, please follow our Facebook page BWC 1949. Uulitin ko po, BWC 1949 para maging updated kayo sa iba't ibang issuances, announcements, and activities na inilalabas ng BWC at ng DOLE. Again, I am John Cesar Petate, your moderator for this program. And in behalf of the Bureau of Working Conditions, thank you for joining us today. See you again next episode po. Ingat po palagi. Salamat po.
Para sa mga katanungan at karagdagang impormasyon,
maaari po tayong tumawag sa DOLE Hotline 1349 o sumumbuni sa mga DOLE Regional o Field Office na nakakasakop sa inyong lugar paggawa.